To me, Pluto, smaller than our moon, 4 billion miles away. Yet I cannot conceive of doing a horoscope without putting Pluto in it. Okay. So I don't consider myself any type of particular astrologer. I'm certainly not an evolutionary astrologer. I don't do Vedic astrology. I try not to do horary if I can help it, because I'm not very good at it. But I'm a diagnostic astrologer, as in I'm very good at pinpointing specific issues in a chart. I can look at a chart, and because I've been doing it so long, 45 years, I can just look at a chart and go, that's the core issue, boom. I'm not subtle, gentle, or diplomatic or tactful. So I'm a bit of a brutalist, really.
Just cut through it, don't you, just to tell people what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also too old to. I don't hold people's hands and say, "Oh, you poor thing." I just say, "Come on, wake up, smell the coffee. This is how you can change your life for the better. It's up to you. Go and do it."
Practical astrology.
Yes. Down to earth ground. There's enough woo-woo people out there as it is, and I'm definitely not woo-woo. I'm down to earth, grounded, rooted in the here and now, with an openness to spirituality, consciousness expansion, and all things esoteric, but not fluffy and not woo-woo.
Yeah, you can have both, can't you?
Yes, you can.
And it's hard sometimes for people to to get to understand that you can be practical and you can be spiritual as well, and it's
absolutely
not rubbish.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I ascribe to that. I do my best to give people practical advice whilst at the same time retaining their attitude and openness to their own link with the divine, however they see the divine as being. Some people call it God or Buddha or Allah. Others call it the universe. I call it the upstairs department. You call it what you like.
Have you always been so spiritual, been in touch with it?
I've always seen astrology as a bridge between heaven and earth. And in that context, I see astrology as a bridge between the ways to improve one's life at a practical level, whilst also encouraging personal growth. And normally, personal growth has to involve an element of spiritual progression and development.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you become soulless. If it's all materialism, then what's the point?
Yeah.
So yes, I suppose the answer's to that yes, but not to, as I say, not to the point where it becomes fluffy.
Right, so you've been really busy recently. You've got like a massive base of subscribers on YouTube. I think it's over 113,000, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of gone ballistic in the last year. Yeah, it's taken me 12 years 13 years to generate it, but yeah, it's just taking off now.
You're a teacher. You've been an astrologer for 50 years, and you're currently doing a documentary. Is that right? On the of Western astrology.
Yeah.
So will you be showing any of that at the conference?
I hope to. I'm not going to promise, but I hope to. I will certainly show some of it, even if it's just little clips, but I hope to show at least 1 or 2 episodes. But I will show something for sure. Yes.
Right. Okay. So what you're going to talk to us about is what we're all interested in, and that's Pluto.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the Lore of Pluto, Reshaping the Void. So that's a cracking title.
Well, Pluto's the only planet in my chart that doesn't receive any difficult aspects. My chart is common knowledge. I deliberately put it out on the internet because I don't trust anyone who hides their chart.
Yeah.
even if I have got the moon in Scorpio, you know. So, um, um, and to me, the idea of the integration between the physical and the psychological, dealing with the dark, not the negative, but the dark. And I've got Saturn in Scorpio. I can't help it. I'm a dark worker. I get really angry when I hear of all these wonderful, lovely little light workers. Because if you can't work with the dark, don't work with the light. I work with both. But when you
Yeah.
work with the dark, you can go in and you can pull people out. And if you're sensible, you go in there and you're Teflon coated so nothing sticks to you and you can pull people out of trouble, normally generated by their own fears and paranoias, but you can still pull them out of it.
Mm.
So to me, Pluto is as I'm fond of saying to my students, when Pluto strikes, you do not welcome him in. You do not negotiate with him. There's no compromise or deals. You just open the door and say to him, do whatever you like. There's no argument. You can't compromise. If you resist him, he will absolutely trash you and you'll die in some shape or form, death and rebirth. But if you just let him do what he will, knowing that it's going to A, hurt like hell, and B, he's got your best interests at heart, and that you will come out of it hurting, but also psychologically invulnerable for the rest of your life, and no one else will ever be able to manipulate, dominate, or have inappropriate or unethical control over you, then it's worth it. To me, Pluto, smaller than our moon, 4 billion miles away, yet I cannot conceive of doing a horoscope without putting Pluto in it.
I think it's like an uncontrollable bulldozer coming through your life.
Yes, it is the unstoppable force. And you cannot control it, you cannot explain it, you cannot understand it because it works in the areas that defy rationality. All you can do is know it and sense it and dance with it.
Yeah.
And
Embrace the change.
yes, and through working all this work I've done with Pluto over the last 10 years, it's really opened me up to the ideas also of the dark feminine. And I don't mean females, I mean the dark feminine that's in everyone. And most people are terrified of that aspect of their lives. The exception is the majority of astrological students who are like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's dark. But it's interesting. Let's have a look. And
Mm.
so, yeah, I encourage people to go into the dark because you got to go to the bottom before you can go to the top.
No, it's quite strange, isn't it? That some people, it seems to be either one or the other. That some people are like to dwell in this dark, and other people just don't want to go anywhere near it. So you got to kind of get the balance between the two.
It's my experience, Raina, that most people, sorry, Raina, Catherine, apologies. It's my experience that most people who don't want to go anywhere near Pluto normally are quite damaged in some shape or form, or have had some type of really traumatic experience in the past that they've either suppressed or repressed, and they're scared that it might come back. And the thing
Mm.
is, when Pluto strikes, it will come back, but
Mm.
you will deal with it and it will be dealt with. It's just a question of whether you do it willingly or kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
So it's better to do it willingly. Same with anything, you know.
Yeah, I've got. I mean, I've been practicing astrology for probably about 10 years now, so still got a long way to go. And Pluto has gone into Aquarius with its, for good. Well, for the
Yeah,
next, is it
20 years.
20
Yeah.
years or so? And I'm a Leo, but I've got to say that I've had quite a struggle for a while, and as soon as it went into Aquarius for the last time, I just felt better. I just felt like a push had gone, like I had wind in my sails, and
Yeah, it's like, okay, training's over. The anticipation, the trepidation, the preparation is over. Right, now it's here. Okay, let's get on with it. Yeah, I'm feeling that about not just Pluto and Aquarius, but about Saturn, Neptune into Aries and Uranus into Gemini as well. I'm welcoming it because we have no choice, so we might as well welcome it. So
Yeah, and all the changes with AI going to be,
oh, amazing. I'm working with it all the time.
Hmm.
It's changing my life for the better.